Am I the for calling out my boyfriend after he commented on my neck? After he commented on your neck. Depends on what comment that was. Did he say how unbelievably beautiful your neck is? Did he say that every necklace unbelievably beautifully sits on top of your neck? Probably not. Tonight, my boyfriend and I were looking at necklaces for me online, and he said, "Did you take into account that the model's neck is much skinnier than yours?" That is so backhanded, brother. By the way, babe, did you notice how much fatter you are than this model? Maybe you should take it as a hint to, you know, lose a bit of fat. Why can't you do that for me? Eating ice cubes, is that too much? My love is not enough for you. Can't you prove how much you love me by eating ice cubes the whole day? I slowly turned to him and said, "Did you really just say that to me?" I wasn't yelling or cursing, I was just clearly frustrated and hurt. The fact that you didn't scream shows me that you are actually not only frustrated but kind of over this behavior. It feels like this is not the first time you've experienced something like that. Safe to say, if you feel the need to comment on your partner's body like that, they are not attracted to you anymore, or maybe never were. Think of it as an early sign that maybe something is off. We've been together almost 29 years. We've both gone through physical changes over time, but he immediately got mad at me, stomped out of the room, and said that after almost 30 years together, we should be able to be honest with each other. I love this argument. It's so mature because these people always feign honesty as something that gives them a free pass to be assholes to their partners. Honesty doesn't mean that you can just freely insult your partner because you feel like it. Did you consider that your partner also has feelings? Even though you want to be honest, they may not want to hear your critique all the time. I told him honesty is fine, but commenting on any woman's body like that will never be received kindly. Now he's acting like I overreacted. Hey, wrong subreddit. I wonder why you stayed with him for 29 years. Now, granted, we don't have the full context, right? So I'm looking at this through a lens of what you told me. And what you told me is your boyfriend seems like he's a scumbag. I also wonder why you haven't married him in almost 30 years. I'm going to tell you that you are not the asshole. Definitely right in your judgment, and your boyfriend is a child. Instead of stomping out and dodging responsibilities or accountability for what he did and said, he should actually talk to you about how it made you feel and then adapt accordingly. Oh yeah. This is my lane now. This is a tale of controlling and paranoid behavior. Interestingly enough, I don't know who's in the wrong just by reading the title, because once again Reddit deemed TOP the asshole. Am I the asshole? My fiance and his sister went through my phone and found upsetting messages between my sister and I. Now, first of all, that sounds like they invaded your privacy and they've seen things that they shouldn't have seen. Okay, so I need advice. I'm a 37F engaged to 40M. We have been together for almost 10 years. I will try to keep this as short as possible. My sister-in-law to be went through my phone and found messages of me venting to my sister about my fiance and some of his relatives. She showed him the messages and now things are just very awkward between us all. I did apologize to my fiance and his sister in the phone, but we are yet to speak face to face about it. How can she just randomly go through your phone? I would be surprised if her brother was not involved in some way, maybe directing her towards checking the phone because he's paranoid himself. I'm aware things will never be the same again, and some of the messages were quite unfiltered, but they were all true. No one else was supposed to see them and I forgot to delete them. Some of the messages were about how I'm going to break things off with him due to some behavior traits I have brought up and some past events that he continues to gaslight me about, including him cheating on me emotionally. As I thought. And messages, it doesn't matter if they are disgusting or if you think that they are inappropriate, but messages between you and another person are private. And I think it's a gigantic invasion of privacy that the sister just randomly decided to go through your phone and then share them with your husband too. And then it's also alarming that he gaslit you when he emotionally cheated on you. Like, why are we tolerating any of this? Anyway, there are so many things that have happened, and I have previously tried to end things with him, but he always promised things would improve. Some things have, some haven't. Yeah, that's how it goes. Usually people promise, but they only promise to buy some more time and then rope you into the relationship for just a bit longer, so you think that you've invested just enough to warrant not breaking it off. Anyway, I vented on WhatsApp to my sister and we said some mean things, and now my fiance thinks he doesn't know me anymore. Honestly, I feel bad for those messages, but at the same time, I can't help thinking it was overdue for us to address some underlying issues, and he won't discuss anything. Even before he saw the messages, he has always swept issues under the rug, and this seems to be a pattern in their family. All he keeps saying is he doesn't care, but his sister is a different story. And he says it as if I'm in trouble with his sister and I better start sucking up if I want to be accepted by her. There's so much nuance to my story, and I'm afraid to go into too much detail because so much happened in a relationship that led to my venting, and my sister is the only one I can vent to. I avoid sharing relationship issues with my friends. It is totally fine to not share your relationship issues with your friends. I think relationship issues should stay within the relationship, but you still should talk to people about issues that you're facing. You don't have have to go into detail, but at least tell them that there's issues and that you need advice. Please help. What's the point if you can't address the build up to my venting? Also, why did they go through my phone? I feel I deserve an apology from them for going through my messages and the phone behind my back. Am I the asshole here? In my opinion, you're the asshole for not sticking up to him. You're the asshole for disrespecting yourself and staying in this relationship. He is emotionally abusive and manipulative. He will clearly gaslight you on past events that happened. He doesn't take your concerns seriously. He's not even willing to speak about them. This is how abusive situations develop. They isolate you from all of your friends. They manipulate you into thinking that sharing anything about the relationship is detrimental to it, and that's how they keep you trapped. If I was you, I would seriously question whether this person is someone that you really want to spend the rest of your life with. And it shows to me that he just doesn't really care about the relationship because he doesn't want to improve. He keeps promising, he never delivers, and then he tries to emotionally manipulate you into thinking that you have been wrong. If you think that I'm the asshole, be sure to stick around and let me know in the comments how much of an asshole I am. Also subscribe. If you think that I am not the asshole, also subscribe. Am I the asshole? I'm apparently a terribly unsafe driver, but he still expects me to pick him up. This has the tag everyone sucks, by the way, so I can't wait to dive into this one. My husband, 43, and I are in the midst of an argument and I need to know if I'm in the wrong. Backstory: my husband grew up in a large city where he used his bike or public transportation to get everywhere. He never learned how to drive. I grew up in a small town and got my driver's license on my 16th birthday. 5 years ago, during COVID, we left the city and bought a small townhouse about an hour away. We were both fully remote then, but now he has to go into the office 2 days a week. We're a 15-minute drive from the commuter train, which takes 45 minutes. In the morning, he takes an Uber to the station. We have an 8-year-old, so I get her up, lunch made, dropped off at school, etc. Kiddo is in aftercare, so I pick kiddo up around 5 to 5:30, and if husband is downtown, we head to the train station to get him. Sounds like a reasonable setup. You have your own roles. All good so far. Nothing I can critique. Our kiddo is in an extracurricular activity twice a week. I asked him to come with us to drop her off, get groceries while kiddo is there, and he can see how much kiddo has progressed since last time he came. He reluctantly agreed. He was not downtown that day. He just wanted to be lazy at home. Okay. Fellas, is it gay to love your child? Does it bother you to show some interest in your child's development? On the way home, we were stuck behind a truck going slow. I didn't mind. I wasn't tailgating or anything. The truck suddenly pulled to the side of the road, but he was still in the lane. His tires were like a foot over the white line. But he rolled his window down and very aggressively indicated he wanted me to pass him. There was a car coming from the opposite direction, so I slowed down and stopped just behind the trucks, waiting for the car to pass. The truck driver was waving his arm around like mad and honked his horn at me. When it was safe to pass, I flipped him the bird. Immediately, he slammed on the gas, honked his horn multiple times, and tailgated me until he finally turned right. My husband lost it the whole time, yelling at me that I never should have flipped him off, people are insane, I never should have escalated the issue, etc. Yeah, we are in the US. I wouldn't be confident flipping off anyone, especially not in a public traffic situation. Have you seen the videos where people just get out of their trucks, take the shotgun, and then start fucking blasting? Because remember, the goal of driving is not to show off your crazy skills or to show them how superior of a person you are. You just want to get to your destination while not dying. Once we got home, I sent kiddo upstairs to get changed while we unloaded groceries and made her a snack. As soon as she was gone, I turned to my husband and said, "You cannot speak to me like that." But before I even finished, he started yelling again, saying, "Get over yourself. You put us in danger. It's not all about you. Why do you need to flip people off? Just ignore them." I just walked away. I was furious but didn't want kiddo to hear us argue. This is giving me entitlement vibes, guys. My entitlement senses are tingling. If he was disrespectful to you in the way he talked to you and addressed you, then fine, that's one conversation to have. But for you to not even realize that your behavior is reckless and potentially endangering your family, by the way, your kid is in the backseat, and you provoke an escalation with a truck driver when he's already pissed off, hates his job, hates his life, is probably underpaid, and you decide to flip him off. He never apologized. We still haven't even talked about it, but he was downtown today and texted me asking if I was running late because I didn't show up to pick him up at the train station. I just texted back, "Get over yourself." You're a fucking jerk. Honestly, I don't like you at all. Your husband may be a jerk for demanding you to pick him up or even talking to you disrespectfully, but you're a fucking jerk for being so backhanded. He took an Uber home and asked me if I plan to continue to be an asshole. And I told him if I'm such an unsafe driver, he can figure it out for himself. Lady, you have a severe ego problem and I don't know what the fuck is happening to you. Honestly, he's completely right. Get over yourself. What is wrong with you? He merely told you to not recklessly start start conflicts with random people on roads. Was I the asshole for flipping the truck idiot the bird in the first place? Yes. And am I the asshole for refusing to drive husband anywhere after he was a jerk? Also yes. Your husband is not entitled to you driving him. If your husband feels the need to go anywhere, then he should get a license himself. But that doesn't warrant you being such a nasty person with a horrible attitude without even you seeing and recognizing that your behavior was indeed reckless and dangerous and could have ended very badly. So yeah, you're the asshole. And your husband is also an asshole, but I would say a minor asshole, a lowercase asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to stop sharing her food? Interesting. This person is branded asshole, by the way. So Reddit made their judgment, but I haven't. My girlfriend always offers to share her food with everyone when we go out to eat. I've asked her why she does this and she says it's just how she was raised. To always make sure everyone else at the table is taken care of before she eats anything. I've told her multiple times that while it is an admirable gesture, she doesn't have to do that and that no one will judge her for not offering her food because they have their own meals. This isn't just with shareable items either. She will offer bites of her burger, pasta, soup and other things that are simply not easily split, usually ending up with another person taking direct bites or stabbing their used forks and depositing their saliva into her food. Depositing her saliva into her food. Wow, what a poet of modern times you are. Reasonably understandable. In that case, she should just ask for a knife and then cut up a piece of the burger, fries, what I don't know. Just fucking take a bit of pasta and deposit it into the other plate, I guess. Aside from the ick factor, I have also told her that she really needs to avoid offering her meal when we dine out with my friend Brian. He is the type of person who has no self-control with food and zero social awareness to understand that help yourself does not mean you can eat all of it and I won't mind. I'm astonished. Like, what are these people? These people are caricatures. Brian, who are you? Why are you? Don't you think the other person also wants to eat their own food that they paid for? Just specifically don't share food with Brian because he's a fucking idiot and socially inept. This has happened a lot in the past where he'll house 90% of a shared appetizer plate because the rest of us were talking and being polite and he just assumed that we meant we weren't hungry. I wouldn't care as much if he paid for it, but he's almost always broke and doesn't seem to understand what tax and tip are. If the item was listed as $11.99 in the menu, when the check comes, he'll toss in exactly 12 and think he's square. Sounds like me for real. But the only difference being that Germany doesn't have tipping culture. Why are you friends with these people? Oh yeah, there we go. I know most of you are going to ask why I'm even still friends with Brian if I hate eating with him, but please understand that he's a really great guy and a reliable friend. He just has a troublesome relationship with food. Okay. Fair, I guess. I was too quick on my judgment. Fair, I apologize. That's not the only facet of his personality. That's just the only one relevant to this post. Okay, but if Brian is such a great guy, then why did you feel the need to include such a big paragraph just on Brian? Can you choose a different time? I'm recording. Sorry, just emergency services. Probably someone choking on their food right now. Last night, we were out again with friends, and my girlfriend once again offered her meal to everyone, Brian included. Brian, you sneaky lynx, you still haven't learned. I didn't want to make a scene, but I gave her a little nudge, and she just gave me a shrug in return. Your girlfriend is so innocently cute. She's like, I just give food. Unsurprisingly, Brian ended up eating most of the food as well as his own plate, and my girlfriend didn't say anything. On the way home, she asked if we could stop by a fast food place because she didn't get much to eat. And I told her she should have just eaten the food she ordered instead of offering it to the table. I said this was exactly why I warned her and that she's seen the way Brian is with food and that she shouldn't have been surprised when he ate more than she was actually intending to let him. I think gently pointing her towards that direction is right. I would also be pissed off, honestly. I would be pissed because it's fine to share your food, but this is the result. You have eaten nothing. I would be mad because you paid for a meal that someone else ate and now you want to stop by another fast food place or another restaurant establishment to get another meal. At some point, like, learn your lesson. I still stopped to get her something, but I also complained that I don't enjoy paying for Brian's meal since he basically ate all of hers. I might have been harsh, but this has come up multiple times and she knows I'm not a fan of it. I could tell she was upset when I said it and she still is now. She hasn't called me an asshole, but she's making me feel like one and I think we're both expecting the other to apologize first. So am I the asshole? Honestly, I don't understand why Reddit deemed him the asshole. In my opinion, you're not the asshole. It's great that you want to share your joy with other people and you want to make them experience the food that you're eating too. You should still have the capacity to set your own boundaries. And I feel like this girlfriend doesn't do that at all. Especially when the boyfriend pays for the meal. I can understand why he's upset that he basically paid for a free meal for his friend when he wanted to pay for his girlfriend. I'd say both of you are kind of assholes, in my opinion. I mean, just understand each other's perspectives, talk about it, and see why it could be an issue to both of you. Am I the asshole for not paying my mother's $4,000 wardrobe and eventually screaming at her? Oi. Intrigued. I'm intrigued. My wife and I moved to the US, SF, San Francisco, from India back in 2022. I was making about 8k a month after taxes, apart from stock. Jesus Christ, what? 8k a month after taxes. What the shit? While my annual salary sounds massive when converted to Indian rupees, my family doesn't seem to realize that I'm not spending in rupees. Between San Francisco rent, general expenses, and a loan I was still paying off in 2022, we were barely saving 1 to 2,000 a month. 1 to 2,000, which is still a lot of money to be able to save in a month. Most people don't even have anything to save. So do you realize how much money you're actually making? Jesus Christ. Within 3 months of moving, my parents asked me to buy my brother a $1,000 laptop, which I did. I also bought my dad a $2,200 laptop. He didn't necessarily need it, but I remembered how he bought me an expensive laptop when I joined engineering, so I wanted to do something similar for him. I've also spent on other things, sending money home almost every other month, 300 here and 600 there. I even sent my parents on an expensive weekend getaway to a 5-star resort. Mind you, I've only stayed in budget hotels myself, even to this date. I'm one of those people too. I like to pay for fancy stuff for other people, but when it comes to myself, I'm very simplistic. My mom expressed the desire to have a German wardrobe in the living room, and I said she could go and ask around how much it would cost. I assumed it would be around $1,500. She comes back and says she went to a store and made a deposit for one that would cost almost $4,000. I was taken aback and I asked her why she had to make a deposit without once consulting me. I told her I could not spare that kind of money because we had been in the US for less than a year by then and did not have enough savings. What is a German wardrobe? Okay. German wardrobe. Like one of these big boys? I see them for 600. Maybe it's because I'm in Germany. We did pay for many other things after this instance. For example, my mom needed surgery and they did not want to go to any of the hospitals where the insurance would pay. Okay, kinda unreasonable. So I paid for the whole thing, including the stay and food at a 3-star business hotel for 2 weeks. I did have it in my mind to one day pay them for the wardrobe. It is just that things happen. My wife had to move to a different city for her MBA, which increased her expenses, and then I lost my job in the middle of 2024. So I have not been able to pay back. All of a sudden, you lose your job and now you can't keep up with your payments. Now your family would be reasonable in understanding that and just letting you sort your own shit before demanding more money, right? Now, I should mention that I have not been the best of sons. For the first 5 years of my job, I hardly sent any money home. I had to pay off a student loan that took anywhere from 30 to 50% of my salary. Plus, I was profligate, and undisciplined with money and ended up incurring massive credit card debt. But I cleaned up my act, paid off everything, and even started saving. Before moving to the US, I did buy my parents a few expensive appliances and other things, but for the most part, I was not of much help. My parents also paid for my wedding, money that I am yet to pay back. Being expected to send money home at all is something that I think mostly Asian cultures experience, at least as far as I know. I mean, we in the West don't have that kind of mentality. Our parents would be lucky if they don't have to send us money still, because we can't find a fucking job in this damn economy. Apart from that, I think it's admirable that you intend to pay back for the things that your parents did for you. Good of you to acknowledge that you haven't been the best of sons. Even though I don't agree with your perspective on monetary compensation being a good son. Anyway, the other day my mother brought up the issue of the wardrobe and how I only make promises but never fulfill them. I lost it. I screamed at her and told her how she is constantly counting what we have spent on ourselves and not on her. It was not pretty. Am I the asshole for not paying for the German wardrobe back then? Am I the asshole for screaming at my mother? You're not the asshole for not paying that German wardrobe. She made the decision without consulting you so she can deal with the consequences of having to pay that fucking wardrobe. You are the asshole for screaming at your mom because even though she's insensitive and entitled to your money, that is also partly your fault because you gave her all these luxuries and now she feels like that money belongs to her. I think you are the asshole for not setting a big enough boundary with your parents. Make them realize that you are the one that's earning the money and that if you don't want to send anything, they're not gonna get a fucking dime. I think your mom's an asshole. I think your dad is an asshole because you are clearly working hard and trying your best to repay them. And that is the lesson for today. As we have seen today, you can be the assholes for not standing up for yourselves enough. Sometimes being egotistical is the best type of self-care. Choose your partners wisely and don't forget, don't be assholes. Most importantly, not to yourself.